Somewhere beneath the waves, far beyond the sight of modern satellites, lies the possibility that a story humanity has whispered for thousands of years may be more than myth. Atlantis, the fabled continent described by Plato as a realm of unimaginable wealth, advanced civilization, and sudden catastrophic destruction, has haunted our imagination for centuries. Scholars, explorers, and dreamers have debated whether it was allegory or reality, a moral lesson cloaked in myth or the record of a civilization lost to time. Yet what if it were neither merely a story nor a legend, but a historical truth waiting for discovery, a land once vast and vibrant that disappeared beneath the oceans in a single catastrophic moment? Imagine the oceans not as a boundary, but as a tomb and a veil, holding secrets of a civilization that may have shaped the world in ways we have yet to comprehend. Plato described Atlantis as a utopia of sophistication, a society with remarkable architecture, complex politics, and a mastery of resources and technology that seemed almost miraculous for its era. Whether taken literally or metaphorically, his accounts raise intriguing questions. Could a landmass large enough to support such a civilization have existed and vanished without leaving a trace? Geological evidence suggests that entire regions of Earth have disappeared beneath rising seas. After the last ice age, global sea levels rose over 100 meters, swallowing coastlines, reshaping continents, and erasing the traces of ancient settlements. Could Atlantis have been one of these lost lands, a continent now hidden under kilometers of ocean, its cities and monuments preserved in the cold darkness beneath waves? Scientists studying plate tectonics, subduction zones, and continental drift have long noted that Earth's crust is far more dynamic than most people imagine. Entire landmasses can shift, collide, and vanish over tens of thousands of years. Satellite imaging has revealed submerged plateaus and structures off the coasts of Japan, Spain, and the Bahamas that bear uncanny geometric patterns, sparking speculation that they might be remnants of ancient human or pre-human civilizations. In some cases, sonar mapping has revealed vast stone formations resembling streets, walls, or foundations, enigmas that refuse to be neatly explained by natural processes alone. If Atlantis existed, these might be the echoes of its architecture, preserved as cryptic fossils of a forgotten world. Subscribing allows you to journey alongside this exploration, following the hidden trails beneath the oceans, where the line between legend and reality blurs. Archaeological discoveries of submerged cities have fueled speculation further. Off the coast of India, researchers uncovered what appears to be a sunken city dating back over 9,000 years, complete with stone streets and structures arranged in a discernible grid. In the Mediterranean, remnants of settlements in the shallow waters hint at communities overwhelmed by rising seas or seismic events. Even if these are not Atlantis, they suggest that human civilizations were far older, more advanced, and more widespread than classical histories acknowledge. Plato claimed that Atlantis sank in a single day and night due to catastrophic events, earthquakes, floods, and tsunamis. Modern science confirms that such rapid, catastrophic geological events are possible, leaving open the tantalizing notion that Atlantis may have been real, and that the story of its demise is rooted in events as terrifying as they are plausible. Yet the mystery of Atlantis is more than geology or archaeology. It is a question of civilization, knowledge, and lost wisdom. Plato suggested that the Atlanteans possessed technologies and societal organization far beyond what was known in his time. Some speculate that this knowledge could include advanced engineering, navigation, or even harnessing natural forces in ways that we do not fully understand. If true, then Atlantis was not merely a landmass but a seed of understanding, a civilization whose disappearance represents not only a loss of territory, but a profound erasure of human potential. The oceans, in this sense, are not just barriers, they are guardians of history, keeping secrets that could rewrite our understanding of human development. Some theorists even propose that the memory of Atlantis survives in myths and legends around the world. Stories of sunken cities, great floods, and lost civilizations recur in cultures from the Americas to Mesopotamia, from the Pacific Islands to northern Europe. Could these tales be distorted memories of a real event, carried across generations through oral tradition? Could Plato's account have been inspired by knowledge passed down from survivors or seafarers, translated into allegory to preserve the truth in a world that would not yet understand it? If so, then Atlantis is not simply a story from the past, but a puzzle encoded across time, waiting for humanity to decode the signs hidden in both land and memory. And the stakes of discovery are enormous. If Atlantis were found, it would challenge not only archaeology and history, but the very foundations of what we understand about civilization, technology, and human potential. Every submerged city, every underwater plateau, every sonar anomaly could be a fragment of a narrative that predates recorded history. It would force us to confront the possibility that human ingenuity is far older than we dare to imagine, and that the disappearance of entire civilizations could have shaped the trajectory of our world in ways lost to memory. Subscribing ensures you are part of this journey, as we continue to follow the clues that might lead to the truth hidden beneath the ocean's surface. Ultimately, the story of Atlantis asks more than whether a continent sank beneath the waves. It asks whether we are willing to challenge our assumptions about history, to look beneath the surface, literally and metaphorically, and to imagine that humanity's past is far more complex, mysterious, and astonishing than the textbooks suggest. And as the oceans hold their secrets, as sonar scans sweep the abyss, and as explorers dive into the depths where light dies and time stands still, we are reminded that the line between myth and reality is thinner than we think, and that the truth, if it exists, is waiting patiently to be uncovered. Across the globe, the ocean floor conceals more than we have dared to imagine. Satellite mapping, sonar technology, and deep-sea exploration have revealed formations that suggest the possibility of landscapes once above water, plateaus, terraces, and geometric structures that defy natural explanation. Off the coast of the Canary Islands, researchers discovered an underwater plateau with straight edges and right angles, resembling streets or foundations rather than random volcanic formations. In the waters near the Bahamas' so-called Bimini Road presents a series of stone formations that, some argue, could be remnants of an ancient civilization's infrastructure, now swallowed by the sea. Each of these anomalies whispers a tantalizing possibility, that somewhere beneath the waves, Atlantis or something like it still exists, hidden, preserved, and waiting to be rediscovered. Geological evidence aligns with the legend. Following the last ice age, massive glacial melt caused sea levels to rise by over 100 meters, flooding coastal settlements around the world. Catastrophic seismic activity, such as earthquakes and underwater volcanic eruptions, could have accelerated the disappearance of any landmass in the Atlantic or Mediterranean. The combination of rising seas and sudden cataclysm could explain Plato's description of a single night and day in which Atlantis vanished beneath the waves. For a moment, the myth transforms into a plausible scenario, a continent lost not to imagination, but to natural forces powerful enough to erase a civilization almost entirely from the surface of history. Then there are the stories passed down through civilizations. Cultures across continents tell of great floods, sunken cities, and lands swallowed by the sea. From the Epic of Gilgamesh to Native American flood myths, from Polynesian legends to Norse sagas, there exists a recurring motif. A prosperous society destroyed by water, its knowledge scattered or forgotten. Could these tales be distorted memories of the same event? Could Plato's account have been influenced by oral histories preserved through millennia, encoded in allegory, transformed into myth, so that the memory of a lost continent could survive beyond the reach of catastrophe? Each story is a thread, and each thread hints at a tapestry of forgotten history, stitched together beneath waves we have yet to explore. But beyond speculation, the stakes of discovery are profound. Finding Atlantis would not simply be an archaeological triumph. It would revolutionize our understanding of human history, technological development, and cultural evolution. A submerged civilization older and more advanced than previously thought would challenge assumptions about the pace of human innovation. It could reveal knowledge lost to time, insights into architecture, navigation, energy harnessing, or social organization far beyond what we credit to our ancestors. Imagine discovering cities designed with precision, machines of unknown purpose, or libraries preserved beneath the ocean floor. A civilization that may have influenced the course of humanity without leaving a trace. Some researchers even suggest that the story of Atlantis is intertwined with Earth's geological and climatic history. Could the continent have been part of the Atlantic seafloor, now largely submerged, or a land bridge connecting Europe and Africa? Could tectonic shifts, undersea volcanic eruptions, or massive tsunamis have erased it almost entirely? These are questions that continue to guide deep-sea expeditions, yet the difficulty of exploring kilometers beneath the ocean surface has left much of the Atlantic unexplored. The very inaccessibility of the ocean preserves its secrets, keeping Atlantis tantalizingly out of reach while allowing its legend to persist. Subscribing ensures you remain on this journey, following the latest discoveries, theories, and dives into the unknown as humanity inches closer to answers. Technology is beginning to offer hope. Autonomous underwater vehicles, high-resolution sonar, and satellite imaging allow researchers to explore regions previously impossible to survey. Every anomaly detected is a clue, a potential artifact, a remnant of a civilization drowned by the sea. And yet, with each discovery comes the challenge of interpretation. Natural formations often mimic human design, and the line between geology and archaeology blurs. The ocean is a master of deception, hiding and reshaping its treasures over millennia. To navigate this realm is to dance between science and speculation, to embrace uncertainty while remaining committed to discovery. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Atlantis is the idea that its disappearance was not merely a geological event, but a transformation of human potential. Plato hinted at moral lessons, a civilization punished for hubris, pride, or imbalance. If Atlantis was real, then its fall may also serve as a cautionary tale, a warning about the fragility of civilizations, the impermanence of technology, and the consequences of ignoring natural forces. In this sense, Atlantis is not just history, it is a mirror, reflecting the possibilities and perils that humanity faces today. It asks us to consider the sustainability of our societies, the stewardship of our planet, and the enduring impact of our choices. Some speculate that if Atlantis survived in any form, its knowledge might still influence humanity indirectly, through myths, technologies, or ancient wisdom passed down through obscure channels. Could some of our earliest advancements in mathematics, astronomy, or architecture have roots in knowledge inherited from a lost civilization? If so, the search for Atlantis is not merely a quest for land, but for understanding the origins of human innovation and the ways in which memory, culture, and knowledge persist even when the physical structures have vanished. Finally, the allure of Atlantis persists because it embodies the ultimate human longing, the desire to uncover lost knowledge, to witness wonders hidden from ordinary perception, and to confront the mysteries of our own past. The ocean preserves its secrets, guarding Atlantis against discovery, yet tantalizing us with glimpses and hints. Stone formations, submerged terraces, sonar anomalies, and myths that refuse to fade. In this ongoing search, we are reminded that history is not always written on land alone, and that beneath the waves lies a world as rich, complex, and mysterious as any imagined in myth. Subscribing allows you to follow each expedition, each sonar scan, each dive into the abyss, as we continue to explore the possibility that Atlantis was never a myth, but a lost continent waiting to be rediscovered. If Atlantis was real, the implications stretch far beyond archaeology. The discovery of a lost continent would force us to reconsider the origins of human civilization itself. It would challenge the linear narratives we rely upon, revealing that humanity's story may not have begun with Sumer or Egypt, but with a civilization whose cities once stood where now there is only ocean. Imagine streets laid with precision, temples and towers rising to the sky, infrastructure designed with an understanding of engineering that modern humans can barely reproduce. Even submerged ruins could contain knowledge of energy systems, transportation, or governance lost to history, insights that might revolutionize our understanding of what it means to be human, how civilizations thrive, and how they fall. The very existence of Atlantis would also force a reckoning with the fragility of human achievement. If an entire continent could vanish in a single day and night, what does that tell us about the impermanence of our own societies? Rising seas, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and climate shifts are forces that civilizations today still face. Atlantis becomes a cautionary tale, a mirror reflecting not only what we might have been, but what we could become if we fail to respect the forces that shape our world. The oceans, which preserve its secrets, also remind us of our vulnerability, that progress and innovation are not guarantees, but fleeting possibilities, dependent on balance, foresight, and humility. Speculation about Atlantis often extends into technology and knowledge. Could this civilization have mastered methods of harnessing energy, architecture, or navigation far beyond the capabilities of their contemporaries? Some fringe theorists even suggest that Atlanteans might have developed mechanisms to manipulate tides, weather, or even seismic forces. While such claims may sound like fantasy, they serve as metaphors for lost ingenuity, the idea that knowledge, once lost, can reshape history in ways we are only beginning to understand. Subscribing allows you to follow along as we explore not just what Atlantis was, but what its discovery could teach us about human potential and the limits of imagination. Beyond technology, the story of Atlantis is a reflection of morality, culture, and societal ambition. Plato emphasized that Atlantis fell because of pride, corruption, and the misuse of power. In this sense, Atlantis is not only a lost continent, but a philosophical lesson encoded in myth. If such a civilization existed, its destruction serves as a timeless warning. Even the most advanced societies are vulnerable to hubris and imbalance. The echoes of Atlantis ripple across human history, reminding us that knowledge and power must be wielded wisely, and that civilizations, no matter how magnificent, are transient in the face of nature's vast and indifferent forces. The ocean itself preserves the enigma. Beneath kilometers of water, currents, sediment, and time have obscured cities, monuments, and artifacts. Every dive, every sonar scan, every expedition into the abyss is a step closer to answering questions that have haunted humanity for millennia. The act of searching becomes part of the narrative, a bridge between myth and reality, between imagination and discovery. And while some mysteries may never be fully resolved, the pursuit itself ignites curiosity, inspires exploration, and reminds us of the boundless potential of human inquiry. Imagine, for a moment, that Atlantis was more than a continent. Perhaps it was a hub of knowledge, a civilization capable of influencing early human societies through trade, migration, or shared wisdom. Perhaps the architecture, mathematics, or astronomy we attribute to other cultures was first conceived in a city now hidden beneath waves. Every submerged plateau, every anomalous sonar reading, could represent not just stone, but a memory, a civilization whose ingenuity continues to shape our world in subtle, unrecognized ways. It is a humbling thought that humanity's potential may have been guided, at least in part, by a civilization lost to the oceans yet preserved in legend. And so the search continues, driven by wonder, science, and imagination. Atlantis is more than a myth. It is a question posed across the centuries. Can we, as a species, uncover what has been hidden, learn from what has been lost, and integrate that knowledge into the future of humanity? The oceans guard their secrets jealously, yet with every expedition, with every sonar pulse, and every dive into the abyss, we approach understanding. Perhaps we will never fully recover Atlantis, but the pursuit itself enriches us, reminding us that the world and its history is far stranger, more complex, and more beautiful than we often allow ourselves to imagine. Ultimately, the legend of Atlantis asks us to do more than seek ruins. It asks us to reflect on our own civilization. Are we building wisely? Are we aware of the forces that surround us? Are we prepared for the impermanence that history and nature impose? And as we ask these questions, the story of a lost continent becomes more than archaeology. It becomes philosophy, warning, and inspiration all at once. Subscribing ensures you continue this journey, following each new dive, each discovery, and each revelation that may someday illuminate the mysteries hidden beneath the oceans. The allure of Atlantis lies not merely in its existence, but in its possibility. In the faint outlines of submerged terraces, in the echoes of myth, in the rising and falling of tides, we find a narrative that transcends time. It tells us that knowledge can be lost and recovered, that civilizations rise and fall, and that the past is never as settled as it seems. And as the waves sweep over the sunken remnants of a continent that may have once been, we are left with a profound sense of awe, at human ingenuity, at the forces of nature, and at the mysteries that continue to shape our world. Atlantis is not just a lost continent. It is an enduring invitation, a call to explore, to question, and to imagine a past more extraordinary than we ever believed possible.